Hi, my name is Paris Thomas, and I am a ClimateLaunchpad Trainer. So you've been through the bootcamp and perhaps some of the coaching sessions of ClimateLaunchpad, and I bet you're beginning to feel like you're on a roller coaster ride. Some days your idea makes sense and you feel structured and focused, and other days you're at a loss and you're wondering how to get back on track. Don't worry, that's exactly how it's supposed to feel like when you're in a startup. In this video, I will introduce you to a fantastic tool specifically designed for startups like you to help you collect your thoughts and explore ways to turn your idea into a profitable business. Let's do this. Meet the business model canvas created by Alexander Osterwalder. Through 9 simple boxes, you can describe any company's business model in a clear and concise way. But first, let's define what we mean by business model, and we'll come back to the canvas shortly to explain how it works. The definition of Wikipedia is as simple as it gets. A business model describes the rationale of how an organization creates, delivers, and captures value. In essence, it explains how the engine of your company works to make you money. Let's see a very simple example just to put things into perspective. What is the business model of Gillette? At its core, it can be described with a very simple title such as bait and hook, which refers to the fact that the company sells the razor at a super low price, perhaps even at a loss, because they use it as a bait to hook you into coming back to buy the blades. As you can imagine, or worse, as you probably have experienced, the blades are ridiculously expensive, and naturally the profit margins for Gillette are very, very high. Not all business models can be described with a simple title. So let's see how to use the business model canvas to design and explore yours. The canvas is split into 9 boxes, and they all come together to describe the story of how your startup creates, delivers, and captures value. Let's go through them one by one. We'll start from the middle box called value proposition. This is very similar to the value proposition module you covered during the bootcamp. In essence, what value do you create as a startup? Or which customer problems are you helping to solve? Or which customer needs are you satisfying? For example, lower cost of production through alternative energy could be one value offered by a clean tech startup. But be careful not to fall in the trap of writing your product or service here. Focus on value to customer instead. If I were to share with you a single word that describes this box, this word would be benefit. I'll do this for all 9 boxes, so you have a quick reference to help you remember what each box refers to. Let's move on to the next box, which is your customer segments. Again, this is similar to your beachhead market. However, you may wish to explore other customer segments in your second horizon. The questions you're answering here are, for whom are we creating value? Who has the headache you're trying to cure? Who is willing to pay for the value you can deliver? So the one-word explanation here is who. The next box is called distribution channels. And by this we mean, how do you deliver the value you create to your customers? Is it through retail stores? Is it a website? Is it an app? Through which touch points can your customers get access to the value you create? In other words, how do your customers interact with you? And hence, the one word here is interaction. The above box is called customer relationships. What type of relationship do you establish with your customers while delivering the value you promised? Do you have a loyalty card? Is it an automated relationship like the one you have with Google? I'm sure you've never picked up the phone to call Google to help you with your search, right? Or is it a personal relationship through perhaps some form of concierge service? At the end of the day, the way you build relationships with your customers is based on the strategy of how you plan to get, keep, and grow your clientele. And hence, the one-word reminder here is relationship. Now, let's see how your business captures value. How are customers paying in exchange for the value you provide? So how is money coming in? Notice I'm not asking how much, but simply how. Is it a monthly subscription? A one-time transaction? Do your customers rent from you? Or have you figured out a way to create recurring revenues? And those are obviously the best kind, as this means that your customers keep making purchases from you, just like Nespresso customers keep coming back to buy more coffee capsules. When we're in the mindset of business modeling, it is important to remember to avoid too much detail and to keep the conversation at a very high level. This is not easy to do, as we live most of our life discussing detail and rarely do we take a bird's eye view perspective. Okay, so this completes the right side of the canvas, the one we like to call the front stage, the one that everybody can see. Now let's take a look at the left side of the canvas, and these are all the things that take place in the backstage. In the key activities box, you write all the primary activities you need to be doing really, really well in order to make your business model work. Are you focused on R&D? Is your key activity writing code? Is it building networks? Is it creating algorithms? What are the 3 or 4 things that you absolutely must do really well? Focus only on those, and don't fall in the trap of listing stuff like we all know you have to do. For example, paying bills or office admin. In the key resources, write all the key resources or assets that you rely on in order to make your business model work. If your startup has a patent, this is a good place to write intellectual property. You could have a franchise deal or need massive server rooms or network infrastructure. This is where you ask yourself the question, what do we absolutely need to have in order to make this business model work? Similarly, the key partners section refers to the people or organizations you need to count on in order to make your business model work. From whom will you count on for help? Is it a delivery partner? How about one that helps you, your customers with customer support? Maybe a non-profit organization that gives you access to otherwise difficult to reach markets. Finally, in the cost structure box, we include the most important costs inherent in your business model. A rule of thumb here is to remember that costs arise from either a key activity or a key resource. This helps you tell the story, and it focuses only on things that matter as opposed to everything that's on your mind. So there you have it, 9 boxes that help you design, explore, and test how your startup will operate. Part 2 of this video takes you through a quick example of a Climate-KIC startup that I am personally involved in. Make sure to watch it so you can see how to properly use the canvas to tell your story. But in the meantime, you can find the PDF file for the business model canvas online at strategizer.com. Go ahead and download a copy, print it at A0 size, put it up on a wall, and have fun brainstorming with your co-founders what your startup could look like. I wish you all the best preparing your final presentation, and if you want to dive into other topics, go to Climate Launchpad video library on YouTube. Thank you for listening.